America. For decades it's been the big swinging dick of the world stage, but lately, something feels different. China's economy is growing faster than a panda on bamboo shoots. Russia's playing military chess while the US seems stuck on checkers. The point is, the world is changing and America, well, it's looking a little shaky. So buckle up, folks, because today we're diving headfirst into the deep end of geopolitics to answer the burning question, is the USA still top dog? Let's find out. History, everyone's least favorite subject, has a nasty habit of repeating itself. The Roman Empire, with its togas and orgies, thought it would last forever. Spoiler alert, it didn't. The British Empire, convinced it could rule the waves with nothing but tea and stiff upper lips, also learned that lesson the hard way. So, is America next on the chopping block of history? For the better part of a century, the US has been calling the shots. But lately, cracks are starting to show. China's economy is breathing down America's neck, and Russia's throwing its weight around like a bear on a unicycle. The question is, can the US pull itself together? Or are we witnessing the beginning of the end of the American empire? Let's be honest, folks, the US military might be impressive, but the real weapon of mass destruction is that little piece of paper with dead presidents on it, the US dollar. For decades, it's been the world's reserve currency, the lifeblood of global trade. But hold on to your hats, folks, because the dollar's having a midlife crisis. Countries like China and Russia are increasingly ditching the dollar for trade. And then there's the BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, forming a financial boy band with a new single designed to challenge the dollar's dominance. If the world stops using the dollar, the US economy would be about as stable as a Jenga tower built by a toddler on a roller coaster. While the US is busy arguing about whether pineapple belongs on pizza, it doesn't, China's been quietly building the world's largest economy. They're leading the charge in artificial intelligence, building high-speed trains, and expanding their influence across the globe. Meanwhile, the US is still bogged down in endless wars, spending trillions on military bases. China is already light years ahead in fields like artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and renewable energy. The question is, can the US keep up? Can it bridge the education gap, invest in infrastructure, and stop shooting itself in the foot with political infighting? Or will it become the aging rock star, reminiscing about the good old days while China takes the stage for its Grammy-winning performance? The US military, still the most powerful? Let's be honest, the US military is like that friend who shows up to a party with a flamethrower. The US spends more on defense than any other country on the planet. But here's the catch, being the biggest bully on the block doesn't mean you're invincible. Russia's out there testing hypersonic missiles that the US can't even track, let alone stop. And then there's China. They're building warships faster than a teenager going through a growth spurt, and their navy is now larger than America's. With tensions rising in Taiwan, Ukraine, and the Middle East, the US military might soon find itself stretched thinner than a yoga instructor on a juice cleanse. So, is the US military still the top dog? For now, probably. But the competition is catching up fast. Is the US dividing itself? Here's a fun fact. Superpowers don't usually get destroyed by external enemies. Nope, they tend to implode faster than a microwave burrito on a hot day. The political divide is wider than the Grand Canyon, the economy is shakier than a squirrel on espresso, and people are angrier than a honey badger in a traffic jam. It's almost like the US is playing a game of political Jenga, where the blocks are labeled healthcare, gun control, and climate change. But here's the thing, a house divided against itself cannot stand. If the US can't figure out a way to bridge the gap between left and right, rich and poor, black and white, it's not going to matter how big its military is or how many dollars it prints, because the real threat to America's superpower status isn't coming from China, Russia, or even a rogue AI, it's coming from within. Can the US survive? So, here's the million-dollar question, can the US survive? Can it pull itself together, adapt to a changing world, and remain the world's leading superpower? The US is facing some serious challenges. It's got an economy that's more addicted to debt than a teenager is to TikTok, a political system that's about as functional as a screen door on a submarine, and a social fabric that's fraying faster than a cheap suit at a buffet. But here's the thing about America, it's always had a knack for defying expectations. It's the underdog that became a champion, the scrappy upstart that built an empire. So, while the future might look bleak, it's important to remember that America has a history of proving the doubters wrong. Will it do so again? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, it's going to be one hell of a show. The future of a superpower. So there you have it, folks. The US still a superpower, but maybe not for the reasons you think. It's facing some serious challenges both at home and abroad. But if there's one thing we've learned from history, it's that America loves a good comeback story. Will it rise to the occasion, adapt to a changing world, and maintain its position on the global stage? Or will it become a cautionary tale? Only time will tell. What do you think? Is the US still number one? Or are its days as a superpower numbered? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives on global politics.